Welcome back on Trackers. So today, I convinced my father to do a little interview because I don't recall getting hit by a train. I don't remember a month before and a month after I woke up in the hospital in a rough shape, and I could just tell by the look on my mom's face that I did something really stupid, but I was in really rough shape. So since my dad doesn't want to be on video, he's just going to talk and let you guys know from his point of view what he had to do to help me get back on track and push me to better myself and to learn to walk again and to, get dressed and put my own socks on and stuff like that. So, Dad, what do you got to say? What, from your point of view?
It was a long road. It was. I'm sorry. We're new at this, and I don't like speaking or being on camera or video just to say. So, just bear with me. What was it? On August 2nd, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
You get that call at 11 o'clock or 11:45. And the police are at your door, and you're just wondering, is your son alive, or is he dead, or it's what's happened? And all they said to us is just, you got to come with us, and we got to get you to the hospital as soon as possible. So we all jumped in my truck, and the police drove us there. He was alive, but he was just hanging on to life. His GCS score was like 4 or 5, and that's close to organ donations. And when I had a look at him, I am an ICU nurse, so I had some connections and let me in, and I went straight in to see him in the emerge room, and his face was all mangled, nose butterflied, lip hanging down, mouth split open, teeth hanging, incisions to all sides of his head, blood pouring out every which way. There was 2 or 3 doctors working on him, patching him up, stapling his head, and sewing his mouth, lips, and his legs were even mangled. They were both fractured.
Both my femurs were snapped.
Both femurs. One leg was turned up with his heel up and out to the left. I believe the right leg. And he had incisions, fractures to the occipital sides of both sides, and frontal, occipital, and parietal. There's like fractures all around his skull. So, and he had the worst part was he had axonal shearing of his brain, where it twists inside your skull. But for some reason, I knew he was in there. Because on the way to the CT scan, I asked him,
It's okay.
"Are you okay, son? Are you in pain, or can we get you anything?" And they just gave him something, and he gave me a thumbs up. So I knew he was in there. So we got him back from CT, and we brought him up to ICU, and they were nice enough to leave a bed open beside him, and the way it has it, the doors in between every second room has a sliding door, so I can hear and listen, and just to make sure I know what was going on. I knew he was in good hands in our ICU, because we have highly trained nurses and doctors. So, but I fell asleep, and I just remembered that he's already lost a kidney from a previous accident when he was in grade 9 with a skiing trip. He lost a kidney with
Yeah,
when he
I'll,
hit a tree. He'll talk about that probably
yeah,
another.
I'll explain that in
episode.
another video maybe, but I
But
just wanted to get some of this put on video to explain the extent of and the shape I was in. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, Dad.
So that night, the doc that was on just didn't do a certain, like, just do your ABCs and all that. And I woke up for some reason, and it was just a test to test his one kidney. And when you get into a serious accident, especially car accident, and you're wearing seat belts or anything like that, you can get a thing called rhabdomyolysis. And that, what that does is when the seat belt or something tears into your stomach, or it breaks down the muscle in your body, which then plugs the tubules of your kidneys. And he only had one kidney. And the only way you can do this is by doing a CKMB test, was a blood test. And I just woke up and I said to the nurse, did they do a CKMB? And sure enough, they didn't. And when they did do it, it was up, I think it was up around 20,000. So they had to right away start an infusion, a bicarb infusion, to flush out his one kidney, or we could have lost him. He wouldn't have had any kidney left.
So that was step one where my dad saved my life. There's a few other times in this process that he'll explain, but
Well, it wasn't just me. It was just things you learn along the way. But anyways, so he was doing okay, and it was a long road, and it's going to be a long struggle. And of course, a lot of people didn't believe and didn't think he was viable. And I said, yes, he is. And I said, he's gonna walk back into his house, and we'll make sure that. And he is gonna be viable. But along the way, there's been a few bumps in the road, so we didn't know. He was in an induced coma, and he had to get a lot of surgery done, like his teeth had to be rewired in his jaw for a while, just to get them settled back in, because he had just had his retainer taken off, or his teeth got snapped off with his retainer, so they put that and wired it back on. And he wasn't really moving his hands and feet as much, and he couldn't speak. So one doctor tried to put in a central line because he needed some extra fluid and whatnot, and that caused another little. Sometimes there's accidents when you put in a central line or whatnot, but he got a pneumo from that and needed a chest tube, so it's just a little setback. And then we tried to get him extubated, but he still had lots of secretions, and it was hard to get some of the secretions out of his chest when he's lying in a induced coma for 3 weeks. And he did heal really nicely with some of the dietary people that we had working at the time, and got him onto some nice high protein fluids that we infused through an NG tube into his stomach. And he had road rash on his side and on his
so all that. Sorry, I'm not trying to show my butt, but all that was hemorrhaging, getting it all loose.
And he also had it on his shoulder, and
it's all up here too.
And his face, and it really healed nicely with the protein. But after that, it was just more or less trying to get him extubated and keep the tube out, and get him up, moving, and getting the fluids out of his chest. So we worked on that, and it was a hard goal, and we were trying to get him motivated, and we got him some squishy stuff, balls for his hands, and he started squeezing those harder and harder. And then of course we gave him his cell phone, and that's when he knew he was in there, because he slid it across, put in his passcode, and started playing a type of game. I forget what game it was.
It was like, it's called Tap Tap from way back in the day. It's kind of like Guitar Hero for your phone. And apparently, while I was coming out of the coma, or still slightly in a coma state, I slid the phone open and put my password in, or got my phone open somehow, and started playing Tap Tap, and that's how they knew I was still in there. And as for the ball things, he was talking about, you know, those squishy balloons there that you squeeze and like it pops out and it's like gasoline color stuff inside. Well, that's how they knew I was still alive. And when my grandfather came in, so they're like squeeze the ball, Chris, squeeze the ball. So I was just kind of going normally, and my grandfather said, squeeze the boob, and I started going and that's how they knew I was still alive and I was still kicking and still in there. And then like I said, I don't recall a month before and a month after the accident, so I woke up and I knew I was in rough shape. And my mom asked me, do you know why you're in here? And I said no. And I thought, just by the look on her face and, you know, like I said, how upset she looked. I've done a lot of stupid stuff in my life. But anyway, so I just immediately said I thought I was drinking and driving and I had a raw cut, or I got hit by a bus or something. I knew I was in rough shape. And she just told me, no, you got hit by a train. And anyways, I was moved around a bunch of different beds, a bunch of different floors, and the way that they motivated me, or what works for me, is people telling me that I can't do something, or, you know, trying to tell me that I don't believe you can. I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to work that much harder just to prove you wrong if you tell me that I can't do something or that I'm not good enough. And well, my dad and what was the teams? They had two teams, my dad and my grandmother, I think, and my mom and her brother. So they had they had competitions to see who could get me to walk the most each day, because I had to use a
Yeah, he had to learn how to walk and talk and connect all his circuits up top again. He had to start them off from 3-syllable words, and starting with pennies, nickels, and dimes, how to multiply, subtract again, just back to the basics. And he came along. He came quite quickly with that. So
I still got it. But yeah, my parents, everybody had a part in this, and I'm very thankful for the support and, you know, the strong family that I have. And that's kind of what I want to build here on this channel, is a community, or like a family of people that are struggling and going through stuff, and I want to motivate them by sharing my stories and what I've been through. But so what he was saying earlier is to learn to walk again, I had to use a high walker, which is like the blue foam that goes under your armpits or under your chest and under your armpits, with the handles up here. And I literally had to take like centimeter steps or millimeter steps each day and work on, you know, getting one foot a little further, a little further, a little further, a little further. And then once I got more momentum and my muscle memory came back, I was upgraded from the high walker to a normal walker, like, you know, an old lady hunched over with the walker. And then from there, I had to do from the normal walker to a cane. And then, like he said, I walked out of the hospital. It was August 2nd till October 28th, so exactly 3 months. And I walked out of that hospital and came home. But it was very tough. It was very daunting. It was very overwhelming. And, you know, if I didn't have the parents that I do, I don't think I'd be where I am today. So I give great thanks and appreciation to them. But another thing is my dad used tough love. So, you know, I couldn't get dressed when I was first learning to walk again. I didn't have ability to like bend over and put my socks on or put my underwear. Like I had a really tough time getting dressed and stuff like that. So my dad one day, well, you can tell him.
Well, I just said I'm not gonna baby him, and I'm here to work, and you're here to work. So I just put some socks on the chair, and I said, "Get dressed."
And
Put 'em on.
He put them on the end of my bed or beside me on my bed, and he went to the other end of the room against the wall and sat there and just folded his arms and like, have fun, get dressed. And I was just like, that's the other thing with my frontal lobe injury is my filter. I worked on it over the years, but I was always flipping them off, and I'm fucking tired, I don't want to do this, flipping people off and telling them off and stuff. And the other thing too is my mom would always come in. So my mom's a teacher and my dad's a nurse. I have the two perfect parents for the situation, because my dad would work with me physically and push me physically and stuff like that, and my mom would come in and mentally drain me every day, trying to get me to count. Because when I first started coming out of the coma, she told me that I couldn't even count 13 cents, and she'd come in, get my brain active again, playing cards, coins, all that stuff, getting me going. And
we just make things like a competition this time, and
yeah, that's
and just try
what
and build on
that's
it.
what pushes me, is creating competition, because I like it's like playing a game. I want to be the best. I want to be the winner. I want to be number one. You know what I mean? And that's just how I got through. Well, it's one of the reasons, or one of the ways I got through this ordeal. I also, music is a very big part of my life, and music just kind of hits that nerve in my brain where it just like gives you that extra push and makes you want to do stuff. So that's another reason why I want to start showing some of the stuff I've been working on and stuff that I like. But yeah, anything else you care to add, or anything you can think of?
I just came every morning. My shift was the day shift, so I would come early, like at 6:37. I get up, I go there, and I'd sleep there quite a bit. But I'd get up and I said, "I'm here to work. You're here to work. I don't care. You're getting up in that chair," and we take them. We start off our morning by going for a shower and a shave, and then get up, get dressed, and the day's his. To do the physio, to do occupational therapy work, working with his mind, and just improving each day, and just setting goals and just trying to beat them every day. And we did.
Yeah, it's pretty, it's all about your state of mind and how you look at things. Yeah, it's embarrassing, or most people it's embarrassing, but I'm thankful that I have the parents that I do. And not being able to shower yourself or wipe your own ass or dress yourself or brush your teeth, it's pretty demeaning, and it breaks you down. But like I said, I wouldn't be who I am or where I am today if I didn't have my father or my mother or my brother. It's alright. But anyways, that's my little spiel for today, and I hope everybody enjoyed hearing part of my journey and where I was and where I am, or what I had to do to get to where I am today. So, going from not being able to dress myself, brush my teeth, do anything, or to count coins, to completing a civil engineering technologist diploma at Cambridge College, and then later pursuing to go to university. I also went to university to try and get my degree, and I realized I just wasn't happy, and it was too daunting for me. I was halfway through my 4th year, and in 2019 I ended up dropping out of my program to come home, because I'm a homebody, or I enjoy spending time with people who I love and who are important to me. But I'll talk about that in another video maybe. Anyways, hope everybody enjoyed this, and stay safe. Keep on keeping on. Love you guys. Bye.